So I think kind of what you said. A lot of these players are on the same skill level. I'd say maybe other than Kasper, obviously just being top and lounge and he's the captain. He's going to be on most, if not all, the lineups. I would maybe sub out Edison for Quinn. However, what you said about Edison being a Schlager could be important, filling in the role of like something how Dugo works on Italy. I'd be interested to see if US East like really wanted to experiment with that, with having 3 strong runners and then someone in that schlagging position or taking up 7-8 consistently. But I think Shawn can. I'd really have like a hard time like going between Shawn, Ken, Quinn, Neo. Like I think a good amount of those are on the same level. Interesting to see Ken play. Ken playing out of UT, I believe, and the same as Neo. Top lounge players, but I think really he is just on par with the rest of the players I just listed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with all that said about the US roster, I think it's up there certainly for one of their strongest, if not their strongest. I think Edison, I'm not sure so much about the schlagging role. We'll see. Like, I'm not as familiar with Edison in that regard. I think Edison is probably like, in my very brief opinion on them, they have some of the highest highs you can have, especially like if you're talking about snipes from a player, like he has incredible like montages on his channel of just like the kind of snipes he can pull with some ridiculous throws of items. But he can play up incredible highs with whether it's in regards to lines or item play and schlagging, as it kind of we talk about. But I think something I note about him is that he is prone to kind of choking in some respects. Like maybe that's a little bit a harsh way of putting it, but like definitely prone to making kind of flubs and mistakes here and there that yeah. So it kind of makes him like I feel like if you're a captain for USA and noticing that, I think that may be one of the things that you notice is if you're in a clutch spot and really need someone to clutch out, like and maybe one of your players is struggling, Edison might be a great player if he's not on the roster already to put in. And conversely, if you have, maybe it's Edison, the one that is struggling that needs to get subbed out. So definitely, I think a very good like flex pick for USA.
You're definitely right there. Edison can kind of just do it all, as you were saying. So glad to see him in the lineup though, because he's definitely been playing a lot with USA East and scrims, and it's clear that he's proven himself to them that he should be in the starting lineup. So yeah, good on Edison. I'm intrigued to see what this Team Canada lineup has to bring though.
Yeah.
How much of the previous Canada team am I going to see?
A decent bit. It's not going to be the exact same. So I'm curious. For those of you that might know Neuro, I actually do not. I have no background on Neuro, but I've heard a decent bit about them. Neuro is coming in this lineup now, I think, before they had Kyle instead of Neuro. So we are keen to... Oh, I might actually have the wrong lineup here. It's going to be Neuro, Trix, Zesti, Jas, and Spart. So, where did I get that wrong? Kyle is not playing. Yeah. Trix coming in for Kyle. Okay, nice.
He's resting on his hill, on his throne after getting the 60 and the previous.
And that's another thing to talk about is like I think we were, at least some of us were kind of questioning like who is Canada's fourth. We don't really know who that's going to be. Kyle has kind of like performed here, performed there, but like pretty inconsistent. They've been very good in the past, but like we just saw them there do incredibly well. So. Interesting to see Trix now sub in for Kyle. Trix, of course, we all know Trix. He's an incredible player too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like take this away from you real quick.
Sure.
Just going off their best lineup, what it should be, I think, is Trix, Mikey, Jas, Neuro, and then Spart bagging. So I think they're missing a really crucial part with Mikey not playing, and they're gonna have Zesti running instead. Zesti decent in his own right, playing Daisy, and can do a lot of tricks on that vehicle as well, but definitely missing a very powerful runner in Mikey. So Jas, Trix, and Neuro all playing, very key for them. The top 3 players, like after the 4, I think of Canada, those starting 4 that I mentioned before, the skill gap kind of widens a lot. So it's good. I think it might be tough for them without Mikey, but Jas, Neuro, and Trix are nothing to scoff at. So looking forward to see what Zesti can do to try to help this team out.
Yeah, I think it'll likely come to that. We do have, obviously both of these two teams have kind of progressed into the next stage of the tournament, and we have an updated graphic for that. That's looking like both teams are 2-0 right now. But of course, who gets first, who gets second, it decides what their bracket path is going to be. I'm currently, I think, still awaiting what the confirmation on that is. I think I think basically like the winner potentially gets Norway, and the second place gets the Team UK. So interesting to see how that works. Losers get, because UK, just based on the showing we've seen from them, so dominant. You saw the UK Norway match where they kind of blew past. It wasn't the most like overwhelming victory, but it was like definitely like, oh damn, like they're on another level. And and Norway, still very good, but the question of their fourth and bagging, probably more of a question mark than for a team like UK.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw Norway not bringing out their best lineup. I think one thing they could have done was subbed in, their best lineup was probably something like Noctil, Fox, Barney, and Kion. But instead of having Kion as their fourth, they had Genu actually running and then Twingy bagging. And by GP3, they actually switched it up. So Genu bagged and Twingy ran. So kind of a little mishap with the fourth in the communication, but definitely looking to see what Norway can do and maybe bring out their best lineup for future matches. But going right now, looks like we have 10 in the room. Looks like we're getting ready to start up this match. And honestly, I think this is one of the best matches thus far in this group stage. What do you guys think?
I definitely want to hear more about what you think on a terminology level of like Mac versus Spart, because that's the one part I don't have too much insight in. I've got a really good thesis of the four runners versus the other four runners, and it's pretty much dead even. When it comes to the bagging, who do you think has the edge? Or is it an even contest even on that field as well, would you say?
I think Mac has the edge for Team USA. Mac's been grinding a lot in terms of bagging, and he's been bagging against a lot of other D1 baggers, so he has a lot of experience there. Spart hasn't really been practicing bagging as much. He's more of a runner, but is the best bagger on Team Canada. He has bagged for KG and scrims and whatnot before as well, is what I know. But I think he lacks some of that experience that Mac may have, and so I think in the bagging department, I think Mac definitely has the advantage over Spart. So USA East definitely could be looking to be using more shocks than Team Canada.
Yeah, I guess it's going to come down purely down to like the few the shocks that Canada does get a hold of. How much damage are they able to make from those shocks? What kind of plays? We've seen through so many matches earlier, loads of teams pulling out shocks and dodges, but unfortunately, just the tide's turning on them against them.
Right.
So I guess it's all about like optimizing those shocks to be as devastating for the other team as possible to minimize casualties on your own team.
Definitely. Yeah, I think use of resources is definitely one of the most important parts in all of Mario Kart. Blue shells, POWs, shocks, all just devastating items that can turn the tides of a race. So looking to see these two teams and how they use these items, because definitely going to play a crucial part in a victory for one of these two teams.
Yeah, something to note, because we were talking about the lineups of Canada and Norway played today, and maybe the reason behind those. At this last day of the group stage, where some of these fixtures are a little set in place, at least for the teams that we know they're getting eliminated and ones that are moving on, potentially Canada and Norway just opting to try to fit in the rest of their roster, because you might have like a set-in strong lineup, but I managed a Team USA in the 2014 MK World Cup, and I know what it's like where you have all these players and you kind of want to fit in everybody with like an equal amount of time, and I would guess that some of these players are trying to inch out and show their worth here at the end of the group stage. But I hope they're able to prove themselves. Obviously, Gino earlier struggling a bit for Norway. You said instead of Kion, hopefully Zesti's able to prove himself here. He might be able to find himself in to that main lineup in the bracket.
Yeah, definitely. And we've seen a lot of teams like that with like really strong core three, but the fourth may not be as up there. I was the case for that for Team Latin America, unfortunately. Scoring a very solid 42 points. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do much for my team. I was the weak link. Most likely getting subbed out next week after that performance. But
all I recall is the race kind of just not having it for you, man. You got your dodge, you got pushed off with the power, got a second chance at life with the dodge again, only to be pushed at the shortcut lap 3.
It's a rough time. It was early.
It was watching a Tom and Jerry cartoon unfold in real life.
It's okay. You got the out call and you got the casting gig, so you got backup. You're not going to just be sitting there.
Exactly. You know, I enjoy casting a lot. I love like talking to you guys and doing this. So as long as I can play a role in this World Cup, I don't mind if I have to play it, because that was not a good look for me.
Hey, you know what? We're happy to have you on. We're happy to have all of you on watching. It's a fun quadcast. We're going to get this one started. Grumble Volcano being the first race. Who do you guys think is going to take it? Canada or USA East? Or who are you just showing up for? Let us know in the chat with those hashtags. USA win, Canada win. Let's go ahead and get this one started. Grumble Volcano. We're going to see the rock hop on display here. I know Edison is more than talented enough to be taking this one and do rock hops. Let's see how he does here at the start.
And we're going to see, definitely a lot of bagging for Shrooms here. Definitely the strategy to go for. I feel like a lot of the US members, I mean, I'm sure all 8 runners know how to take the rock hop, but I feel like US definitely going to be looking to do it more. And we're going to see how the shock situation goes. You know, sitting at that first set, trying to wait till 30, maybe pull the strategy, because if you do get to that left side box at 30 seconds, it puts you in 10th place and puts the other bagger in 9th. So we see those 2 baggers doing it there, actually going to the left side now. So, but we see 2 USA members taking the rock hop in Shawn and Ken, and Edison actually keeping his 3rd place. So top 3 right now for USA. A lot of shortcuts going to be needed to happen for Canada to catch them up here.
And just how Grumble usually goes, I don't really say this at the beginning of every Grumble race, but it's a track where lap 1 can really decide it. However, that POW there basically going to eat the words I was going to say, where she said Shawn and Ken were taking the rock hop lap 1, triple shrooms lap 1, and you take that rock and open up the race. But POW, hopefully from the side of Canada, ending that. Edison pulling the shroom in 3rd, though, and breaking out in the 1st. I think that's a top 3 for A right there with a pretty defined breakaway.
They're gone.
Yeah, they're pretty much gone. Those are the 3 runners up there, and I see a Canada member pulling out a TC in 8th, already far behind. Jess miles behind the star. They're going to need a shock here at this first set if they want any hopes getting back into this race.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think we see Mac in last. Oh, never mind. Okay. Little Canada dodge coming out. We see a golden from Jazz coming out. That's pretty much all they could do right there. Maybe they could have like dodged people getting out of the cut, but I think that was their best play, as they really need to catch up there.
Yeah, you almost called that one as if it was like you were in the room with them, like in the room with the guy using the landing day. Like they're gonna be here, otherwise it's all downhill. It's not gonna do too much damage control though. It seems like US still managed.
Top 4? Was that top 4?
It's definitely top 3.
Like.
4. About to find out, but yeah, like you said, like they were able to get away too soon on that one. The POW. Hoping that would be a game changer if that was from Canada, but as we saw Edison pulling a shroom immediately after the POW, just completely undoing it and just allowing the US to keep that top break.
Yeah, they were just absolutely gone, and you know, you expect to see Canada like able to come back lap 2 with shrooms of their own, but unfortunately we're not able to take the cut. We do see a top 4 from Team USA.
What?
Yeah.
Strong start. Wow.
How? What? Yeah, I mean, I guess we saw them like that far behind, but geez, I was not expecting it like that. My God.
Yeah, it
Really
seems like. Guys.
Canada's like route back into that race was that POW, but I believe after that POW, you saw Edison pull that shroom, and I think it was Ken or Shawn pull a shroom right after the POW, and both of them ended up taking rock lap 2 right after the POW. So just really good luck there on US side, but also good on them for having like 4 people make the rock on laps 1 and 2. So that's a Grumble in a nutshell right there. Those triple shrooms lap 1 opening it all up.
Yep.
It felt like there was no in-between battles. I didn't see any bombs, any reds, anything like that. It was just who got shrooms, who didn't, who pulled off the rock, and who didn't. And then you had the shock at the start of lap 3. Other than that, Canada immediately with a backswing vote to go to Raceway to completely
Perfect. Just
Great.
I completely agree with this vote. Like,
Yes.
100%. That top 4. Just get that top 4 out of the window. Who even cares about it? Starting again.
Knock on wood.
Yes.
We'll hope to see it.
But you know, we don't even see this get picked often for a luck track. You know, we see usually like Peach Gardens or like an MC3. or Delfino, but the raceway never comes out, and so I'm super glad to be seeing it. I've seen it a couple of times in the World Cup now. Unfortunately, no Troy strats coming out at the beginning of the race, but
Whack.
maybe we'll see that one day. We did see it from Team Asia, actually.
We did see it from Team Asia, yeah. I felt like I was put in a time capsule, and I was 8 years younger again, so it was pretty nice. Mega in 4th. What's his plan? What's his play? What do you think? Help me out.
I don't know.
He's the only US one up here, it seems. We've got Canada in, what is this, 1-4 possibly? I'm not entirely sure. That's from Mega.
I feel like he might want to hold it because we do see Mac going forward. He might have been shrimming. He is shrimming, I think. Unless that's just 8th place so far behind. What is that 8th place? Did he Troy strat? I didn't see it. I
don't know. Just do something. He was up to something. That's all I know. It looks like it was Kasper, actually. That's Kasper back there, their star player. But, you know.
Spart is in last, though. Spart's in last, so that's something to know. So possible shock. Maybe Jas is still holding his Mega. Unsure, but Kasper catching up slowly but surely. And I'm sure he's actually in a very good position right now, as I would love to be in his spot, maybe with a star to change second set. Jas still holding that Mega, so maybe a Spart shock will come out here. Could see an obvious change, probably not though, as you know, when you're thinking high level like they are, you maybe want to just take cut here and use it. But don't see anything coming out. Jas opting to stop throw a little bit. But looks like Trix also shrimming up and no shot coming out, surprisingly.
Where the shot coming out looks like a USA shot. That's going to get Ken and Shawn, I think, in the last set. And I think they're going to power through to a top 2 pretty easily right there, considering no great dodge in the top.
Unfortunate, and even with the luck track coming out, USA strong showing in what was that, 1, 3, 4, 5, I believe. Kasper, Troy stratting, maybe it was a modified Troy strat, where he was just half a lap behind and able to still get 4th place. So it works, people. It works.
Yeah, hats off to this, you know, Canadian side doing their dangest. But unfortunately, Raceway is not going to be the answer for them. Not that time around. We thought that Spart might have the shock, but it just ended up not being the case. Unfortunately for them, it's going to be a overwhelming race in that note.
Perhaps Spart ended up with the bill in 10th, was not able to use it, so maybe he was just trying to damage control Mac not getting the shock by keeping him in 9th, and or maybe Mac just plain out got it in 9th, and it was an unfortunate circumstance. So guess we won't find out, but either way, very good race for Team USA East, and an unsurprising strong showing, huh guys?
Yeah, nothing too surprising about the results so far. Hope we can see differently, but you know, I haven't seen too many comebacks in the, at least in the group stage. The closest one we saw was the one that ended in a heartbreak, really. So
yeah, Germany versus UK, which was phenomenal. But I don't know, like, I think Jas was looking back there with the Mega, expecting the US team to use their dodges at some point, but I don't know. I feel like he had to use the Mega to take that cut, right? Because that cut is so important. So he kind of just got locked out of he made the best of a bad situation, and it unfortunately just didn't work out in his favor.
Right, and it's like, it's super tough to predict a shock when the other team's holding like 3 dodges. They're just like, oh no, we're just gonna hold it, especially when Jas was the only one with a dodge on his team. So you know, you kind of have to, it was good for him to take it in the cut, expecting that first box chain, but USA played very patiently and just dodged 2 of the members last box. So but another reset track, kind of another luck track. Peach Gardens coming into this. Guys, what is the game plan here? What do you think is the most optimal strategy to win this course?
I believe it is getting lucky at the first box, kind of like how Grumble works. Kind of like how Grumble works, it's just a track where triple shims can open up, not as much as Grumble, I'd say, because the difference between, I'd say, this and Grumble, to a lesser extent, is that you can kind of shrink through the whole track, and there's more catch-up potential, I'd say. But we have Edison pulling a Sherman second here, pretty much just what he wants. It's at least a top 2 for USA. I'm not sure. Pack's still very tight. Chalk matter with a lot here, so we're going to see what happens there, really. But I think this course, Grumble and Delfino, kind of really do work in the same aspect. I think I remember hearing Sword talk about this on the recent stream, just saying, like, how those 3 courses can, like, play out similarly with triple shrooms opening up the race.
Yeah, absolutely.
The problem with that being is that there really isn't a lot of outplay potential other than Pow's getting rid of the shrooms, so top spots can't take them to the other laps. But Edison already able to take that cut and breaking away. But Pack's still tight, looking at the bagging battle, because that's going to really decide this race and who gets those star dodges in the first set or the last set.
God, and like the items too from Edison, like triple reds, shroom, like what more can you really ask for in a spot behind, you know, your team having top spots, really? So
Yeah.
it's gonna look
it's
really
all
bad for the
working
point
out.
of this one.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the only hope that I think Canada's got here is that they need to just start fishing for boxes in the maze. It's the one thing that separates this one from. Oh, there you go. That's
Well.
actually. That possibly could be a game changer. It's pretty early on, so like I said though, all of the boxes in the maze that trail from the chomps, and the shock just resets the item roulette. So pals and blues, completely in-game, in-play again.
Need something
So-
big here. Jazz, of course, running into that grass. Didn't help on the surface of it, but very
Really
quick
good reaction
reactions.
time.
Wow.
And a golden as well. That's huge. No, come on,
Yeah.
come on, come on.
Oh.
Go. Top two, maybe.
Looking like we're seeing the top two with the red.
No,
Oh,
Jazz. That was wholly preventable if he just didn't run into that last wall there, that last tree, that he would have saved enough time to be able to get around that wall and avoid the red. It would have been a top two for Canada.
Oh my God.
Possibly he was worried that he was in a star and he had a teammate near him, so he wanted
True.
to swerve more to the left, but
True.
he kind of overcommitted and clipped the ramp and then, you know, had a little bit of fun with the Christmas tree. A little bit unfortunate.
Still a good race, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But as you were saying before, unfortunate kind of misplay there from Jazz. Kind of what would we say, inconsistent with who he is, as you know, very top level player in Jazz, the type of person to not really fail much. So as you were saying, you know, could have been a case of maybe wanting to avoid hitting his teammate, but you know, I don't think he would have gone like that far out of his way to get away from him.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like possibly a controller malfunction or just like a slip of the finger or something like that. Still, could have been a lot huger than it was. Not a terrible race by all means, but US starting off strong with a top 4 in GV. Like, they just need to immediately, you know, negate that deficit. So small mistakes like that just unfortunately aren't good to have.
Yeah, and you know, coming off this, you know, people streaming as well, they could be facing some nerves. Like, you never know what may happen, what they're thinking, possibly just feeling that nervousness kind of hitting them to you know, maybe hit your joystick one way when you want it to hit it the other. So
Absolutely.
definitely a possibility in terms of, because you know, pretty biggest stage actually of Mario Kart Week, gonna be honest, with 400 viewers right now. Hope you all are doing great, because I know we are going into this race 4 of GP1, and we're going to be watching Edison on Moo Moo Meadows.
Yeah.
Fun today.
This is a I would say, especially out of the luck tracks, it's definitely one of the rarer ones that people end up picking. Luck, reset courses, hectic, whatever you want to call them. Looks like he's gonna stop here at the first set, probably hoping for that 7-8 so we could have pulled the star and held it up. Lots of chaos going on here, trying to see who's got a hold of the top. Looks like a top 2 right now for Canada. Neuro gonna try to back as much as he can here. Edison holding these double shrooms, almost getting knocked away by that mole. Having to readjust and hitting the grass a little bit. Neuro's gonna
said
slide
hello.
right here.
Oh,
Let's go, Neuro. Good team play right here from Neuro coming out. Honestly, I love this track. I'm loving all the track picks by Canada. This is amazing to see so many luck tracks being played, because, you know, 2 teams of such high caliber, you usually just see all skill tracks. And it's boring in that regard. Obviously, it gets really exciting in terms of gameplay, but fun to see these cool tracks coming out that are on the Nightfall track list.
Yeah, fun to see, and honestly, it takes a bit of honesty to pick these. I think a lot of top teams just kind of like zone out sometimes and don't like think like if Peach Gardens or things like MP3. Oh, we have some action going on in top. A bit of a banana exchange, and USA going into top 2. Tricks almost sniping Edison out right there at the green. Gonna see the last second shock, but I think that's USA shrimping up right now for a top 3. But Edison eating some grass there at the end. And Reddit saying that's one way to 8.
Yeah.
They didn't need to use the lightning there because they were all just catching up, shrooming up at the end. So I don't know if they even got the shock that time.
Edison got all the items he needed to.
That's what I was gonna say.
Let's talk about that. Like, triple shrooms, and then a shroom in second, and then still like
He's got that sponsorship, dude. You got to hit him up. He's found some way to get some kind of partnership.
He got like 3 single shrooms in second.
Just
And I was
did
like,
that just on recover, and that's top 2-4 for USA. Still at the end, this all kind of shrimmed up. Maybe Canada baking on a shock too much, not able to benefit as much, and that's gonna be a large GP for USA.
Yeah.
54 to 10.
man. Strong showing from USA. And man, what do you do when you're Canada right now? Like, what do you try to change as of right now?
They went with the raceway, and they had it for most of the race. They were playing that one very, very well. But I think the US team just had the idea of we just need to hang it back, play patient. The last turn is all we need to make the comeback. We'll hold the dodges until then, make the play there. I don't know who's been getting the majority of the shocks though.
Yeah, I think we've been seeing USA getting the majority of them as the raceway one was theirs. I know on Mumu right there. I'm sure they didn't call it as they had multiple members goldening up, and kind of weird to call a shock when your team is top 2, as a top 2 usually wins the race. Edison maybe going Koopa Troopa Bullet Ball. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that. Would have loved to have seen a Quacker coming out in this World Cup play. Would have been a little bit BM GP2 to bring out the Quacker. So glad to see keeping it competitive, keeping it cool, not being BM. We don't love BM. We don't like BM, do we? Or do we? Or do we not? I'm not sure.
We like banter.
Yeah,
Banter's good.
Banter's good, you know, and when the teams like know what it is, like,
Yeah.
I think it's like a little bit more acceptable, especially when they're playing with it. But you know, like, I think Canada still has way more than the potential to do some damage here, especially if they can get things together. Unfortunately, it's not going to be maybe the luck track they've been eyeing so far, but look, they still have plenty capable players on their roster. Like, I know that the disparity in these rosters, sure, is definitely a thing, but if you're going to put the 2 up, you know, in terms of running, like, I think it's totally within Canada's ability to respond back here. One thing that I want to see better from, you know, maybe Jas is, like, I've seen him constantly in the back. We know how good of a racer he can be. Maybe he has nerves, sure, but we know it's in him and in some of the other Canada players to be racing up there. I wish we just see them get up there ASAP more.
Yeah, I've talked to Jas a little bit about his play style and kind of how it's changed over the years. He was telling me he kind of like plays more for the team, tries to hit the opposing team members to get his team up there. However, I think you're right in terms of he needs to get up there and be that front presence for his team, because we saw that when he does get up there, he usually just breaks away. I mean, on tracks that we played with him in MKPS, like DDR, Moonview, whenever he can get in first, he just gets a huge breakaway from his lines. And, you know, he may take a blue here and there. That's Mario Kart, right? It's going to happen. Jas definitely needs to be that front presence for them, and needs to get out of the back for them to have a better chance.
You're talking about the way team play. He's the one that used that POW, called it targeted on Edison, that forced him not to take the cut. I mean, he's doing his part at least a little bit there.
Yeah, no, definitely a great team player from what I've seen and what he's been trying to do. But I think he will benefit his team more if he's up there, as he's one of the people that can outplay a lot of people with his lines and also his item usage. So looking to see if he changes that strategy at all. But for now, we're going to see a top 2-4 on Koopa Kate from USA coming out. Zesti being that lone hope for Team Canada up there.
He's going to get a Nana off onto Edison right here. What you said, really, it kind of just actually proves like what an amazing player Jas is, in the sense that he has this amazing game knowledge, and as you can see, I believe he's a captain of Team Canada in this aspect, unless I'm crazy. But at the same time, he also has amazing running presence, and just being that well-rounded of a player, sometimes you have to make that sacrifice and say, I have to play greedy, I have to play in the front, even if I know that I might be a better team presence. Really, in the end of the day, you can hit people as much as you want, but if the other team's just running, which seems to be the case in a ward like this, you just kind of have to play greedy and get up there.
Blue shell, that is key for them. We did see Canada in 3-4-5. Maybe able to do something with it. That red, where's
Restrictions don't really work.
That definitely broke. Definitely broke.
That wasn't a real, ghost.
Reds do tend to do that sometimes.
No. That's getting taken out. Shroom for Edison again. Maybe
top three for
USA.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like the top 3 for US. Edison with the single shrooms in third, just on tap right now, like running water. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The blue was a good a good bouncer, but they already had too much of a break, it seemed. It just seemed like Canada couldn't quite edge to get up to the front when they needed to. And Cooper Cape is one of those tracks where, with the use of the shroom bow and the trapping spots and the blind corners, there's just so many opportunities for first to get away. Like, even though you've got the grass cuts and that entire section where the golden is your best friend, like, there's just so many other opportunities where you can just break. So definitely, I don't know if that was the best track pick, because that was a Canada track pick, Cooper Cape.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was?
If you're
Wow.
Canada, it was Canada. If you were Canada, where would you be going right now? That's what I want to know.
I'd say more luck tracks
Yeah.
coming out from me.
Bring out the Shy Guy Beach with the umbrellas. I'm all about it, dude.
Oh yes,
Go.
I'm the largest Shy Guy Beach advocate on the Weem right now. I think I'd love to see
yeah?
something coming out from them. Oh yeah, for sure. I can have Brawley vouch for that. Really though, they're picking Raceway and I guess Gardens, but they weren't winning on those. If they're gonna pick those, I guess they're gonna have to play more from the back, because if I remember on Raceway, they were kind of up there in the front. Not entirely sure if I'm right on that, but they just really have to play in the back on Raceway. I remember Kasper was so far behind, denying that 8th place from Canada, that might have messed them up in the end. But we're going to see Mario Circuit coming out for them. GC and Mario Circuit also brings up the idea if Canada wanted to opt for an all-run here at the halfway point, or near the halfway point, but the Caster's curse,
Psych.
No,
the Caster's curse is going to get a BCW for
Come
USC.
on, man. I think going back to your point, Sword, though, another track to kind of maybe catch up on would be Sherberland. I think Sherberland's kind of an underlooked track. People don't like to play it because of the road or whatnot, kind of being deemed off-road. But I think it's a great track to catch up on, and also a good running track you can break away on with shrooms. But we find ourselves now on BCW with a USA top 3, and beginning of the race kind of determines how it will go. So they're just kind of looking to run this here. Maybe a lot of blue shells needed for Team Canada.
Possibly Canada Zesti making the glitch as the only Daisy main in the room. Possibly might be able to help close the gap a little. Not entirely sure.
I think he goes for it, and he fell off.
He missed
fell
it.
off.
Could have been a big lead. Could have been a big play to break that top 3. They really need to get up there. Top 4 US right now.
Just breaking in with triple reds right now, though.
Just flying in out of the blue with triple reds. Could be big, but
I think he took my advice. Finally getting up to the front here, Mr. Jazz threatening this top 3 from USA. Let's see if he can play carefully. Blue shell coming in.
Yeah,
There we
triple
go.
greens as well. Maybe if I'm able to follow that up. Okay, not quite.
but no.
Well, that will be at least. Oh, triple green for Edison. We saw his mega squish behind. Greens don't land. Jas has to play it so careful here, being the sole representative, and as soon as we say that,
Oh,
Looks
the
like
Caster's curse right now. It's so bad.
it's so bad.
Jeez.
I was giving the man props, and then he just falls off. Man, it's so sad. Zesti unable to do glitch again as he falls off in 8th, and it's looking like a top 3 break. I'm not sure. Neuro kind of threatening here, so it looks like a top 2 forward right now for Team USA. Neuro kind of the only hope for Team Canada, as we see a lot of greens coming out from all these players, a lot of commotion coming up in the front here. Maybe Neuro able to snipe Edison, say, I can beat you at your own game,
Oh,
my man.
nice.
Ooh, and he gets him. A little bit of an outline there. And Team Canada looking to come up and take advantage of this.
That's a target shock. Jas dodge. Yeah, that's big for them. That at least gets. That's a very good target shock spot for them to get off of. Nice job on Spart to be able to do that. Canada's now moving up. They at least have 4, 5, and maybe 2nd, maybe 3rd. Can't really tell. But this could be the juice they needed.
Yeah, definitely. And Jas.
Making glitch. Let's see.
Oh.
Oh, unfortunate. Zesti going for the 3rd time. Will he make it this time?
Doesn't look like it. No.
Does not look like he did.
Yeah.
Jas going to be able to keep this first. Hopefully, a lot of people behind him.
Top
2 for Canada right now, actually. And good race. What they needed, top 2. But 3, 4. Edison, our other streamer, getting last, unfortunately. And looks like Zesti getting 7th. So a top 2 7 at least for Team Canada. Wow. Definitely a clutch shock from our man Spart there. Jas almost didn't dodge. He got back greened and flipped. And because of that, almost unable to dodge the shock, but luckily spammed his mega and was able to keep him with that first, as the TS worked out perfectly for Team Canada.
Edison showing us some unique ways to end the race with BCW there at the end. But top 2, 5-7 for Canada. Good winning race for them finally. I believe that's at the halfway, or the halfway point now, or a little beyond it. No, exactly at the halfway point now. So maybe could see a swing the other way. Got a lot of time to catch up. Pretty hard to say though, considering a lot of the washouts we've seen here in the group stage and the play-ins. They have a lot of ground to cover. However, seeing Jas up there at the front, just like we were talking about Cooper Cape finally, good to see. Maybe it could just be a mindset switch for him.
Yeah, maybe you just build off of that, right? So much of the trouble in getting up there is just, you know, like starting off in a bottom spot, right? Like maybe you're not able to get the item box in the first set that you need to be able to get up there. It's so often so easy. I mean, obviously depending on the course pick, which I'm sure both teams will take a minute to think about, especially Canada now for the first time having some really good spots to work with really in this match. So we'll see what comes out of it for them. And maybe, yeah, for Jess, able to hold first place. Yeah, they pick at least DDR coming out from them. For now, we'll see if it goes their way. But if it goes that, Jess can surely run away with it.
Yeah, it would make sense that the US team would want to go to Mushroom Gorge, but the randomizer says absolutely not to that notion, and we're heading straight back to Dry Ruins. Seen a lot of this track today. Very dynamic track that can go either way. What do you think would be the best plan for Canada on this one, since they're the ones working in the deficit? What do they need more people up front? Do they need more people at the start in the lower positions to get shrooms, to make the ultra, to get ahead? Like,
run. Like, just run as fast as you can right now. If you're Jazz,
you can't catch me on the gingerbread man. I feel you, man.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, nice for Ken to stop by and give Edison a gift to 8th place. Why not?
Unfortunately, I think Team Canada is kind of doing it wrong here at the start, because USA's bottom 3, I think, is going to be in a really good spot going into lap 2, as they're going to be taking the glitch to get him up there. Pack still not super spread out. Like I said before, Jazz loves to run this track, so looking to see if he can keep a first place here. Unfortunate no change for Edison, not going to be able to take the cut. So it looks like Canada actually looking pretty strong right now in their spots. USA not able to take any of the cut. And as we see, Jazz is in first. My man, looking strong out here. This is what we needed from him to stay in the front.
Yeah, I think, you know, talking about the spots that Canada weren't occupying at the bottom, yeah, I do think that was a little bit of a misplay. You don't want to give those over too easily, especially when USA has such strong bagging presence. Like, and you generally just want to have one player back there to maybe hold at least one power item, right? But oh no, I think we're gonna see a little bit. I got a sneak preview on that one. I'm sorry for spoiling that one.
Yes, no.
It's okay. He has a massive break. Yeah, the break.
Always get the break?
He still has the break.
Oh,
Edison in the CC Ultra right now.
Okay.
He's gonna call it.
Yeah.
Gonna call it.
I don't think we see it. Yeah. Nothing. Both of our streamers basically flubbing here.
Yeah, Jazz, man, though, he always ends up just getting like a 10-second breakaway on this track, no matter what it is. But I think we're still seeing a top 2 from Canada coming up. Let's see if Trix can bring it back here, as well as Zesti, as they're looking like they're in 6-8, I believe. But Jazz kind of feeling the pressure a little bit. I think we see some USA members, maybe a shot coming in late here, but don't think we're going to see it.
Oh, the shock to maybe prevents Edison from getting it. Dodges them past Edison, so they at least secure. They at least secure 8th place for Edison. That'll be it. Again, I accidentally sneak preview. You guys aren't behind. You guys aren't behind or anything. I just messed that one up too. My bad.
Change my MS, dude. I was getting a little scared. Come on, man.
Yeah, that.
At the end, it actually mattered though. He ended up just running forwards. I believe Jazz has worldwide tops on this course, so not surprised to see him running on a course like DDR, which really rewards those who put in time. 1-3 for Neuro. Neuro not able to hold on to the second that he was at lap 2, but still pulling out 1-3-6-7 for them, which I believe is another winning race. Small wins. Canada definitely going to want larger wins than this, but I remember what you were saying at the beginning about DDR and having to control those spots in the back, because really in these 8 running matches, controlling that 7-8 is so strong. And as you can see, USA having that knowledge and taking it over at the beginning, obviously not completely helping them in the race. Maybe Edison with that unfortunate lack of a chain, if you remember at the end of lap 1, might have put him out of contention for breaking to the top there, but that's extremely important. And it's just showing how much USC's why they're dominating, really.
Yeah, I was thinking of something. Is there any betting potential left in this war?
Oh
Can we
my-
bet on something?
Oh my god.
Hey man,
We got no alcohol today.
If-
cheers, I'll drink to that, bro.
If you look, you still owe me $10
Oh,
for
you
war.
$10.
He wants
Yeah,
his money back. That's why he's doing it. He wants his money back. That money that you got earlier.
Ireland,
Man's
shout
up
us
to date.
to Team Ireland, by the way. Absolute mad lads over there. They just clutched it out for me. Super appreciate it.
All right, I'm loading up my Venmo right now, so get ready to receive.
Once you look at your Venmo, we're going to be looking at GCN Waluigi Stadium, which is actually a track I'd expect to see more in these events. This is the first time I've seen it today.
Yeah.
Very, very dominant US track, I believe. No? US absolutely love this one.
Yes, they do love it. We see a lot of like Avail members who are on Team USA East that love to play this track. Like Shawn, I know Kasper also very competent on this track. So looking to see them break away, as they do tend to vote this quite a lot. A lot of people voting for this track to get removed from the game. Very tech heavy.
Oh, yeah?
Very
Really?
tech heavy track.
You project a little bit?
I've just heard people wanting it removed from the game. 'Cause, it is very tech heavy. A lot of mishaps can happen on this track as well. So yeah, looking to see if Canada can kind of hold their own here.
I think it is unique in that regard, though. The fact that it's tech heavy. Oh, we got a bomb up.
Oh,
looks
nice
onto,
done.
Nice bomb from Edison. Then a blue out onto Ken. Triple Shrooms in third now. If Edison can hold on to these for the cut here, that's going to open up the race for him. Casper out Gas. It's going to be Edison and going into first here with 2 Shrooms after Canada just getting obliterated there. His race is going to be reopened. Going to dodge the power looks with the trick. Very nice from him. Has a bit of a mishap there onto the pipe though.
Decent recovery. I mean, he could have burned that shroom. It was fine. I think the plan was to get him first with a shroom, do the cut lap 3 with a shroom in first to dodge the blue. But they've got top 2 break at the moment, potentially third. Yeah, absolutely. Very good awareness to drop down. So if there was a shock, it was not as bad. Yeah, they're going to need to space themselves out now. Yeah, it's not looking great for Canada right now.
Edison messing up a bit. Maybe gonna see if he opts for the cut here. Once holds for the blue. Now he's gonna take the cut right here.
Needs it. If there's a blue, if there's a shock, like Canada might. If Canada has the shock, like you've got Jas with the mega here, very very important. So if they're looking to use a shock, they're probably just going to leave first alone, aim to get the mid spots because. But he's just so far gone in first, it's probably not even going to make it.
At least forced to use it there. Someone does get hit by that. I don't think the shock's going to come anytime soon.
No, I don't think so either.
It seems like Mac was definitely holding the shock there. If not, ooh. Okay, we see a Neuro dodge there at the end, but it seems like it didn't do much.
Yeah.
So I believe USA was holding that. If I were Canada, I would have been TSing first or second there. I think even with first breakaway, it would have done damage because that TS is just so strong and kind of destroys first place. But I do agree that second place was kind of like the person you want to get in that situation so that more of your mid spots are able to pass him.
Absolutely, for sure. I mean, they may as well let first have that in with more guarantee of getting like 2, 3, 4 as opposed to go for first, but then the rest of the US managed to get like 2, 3 still. Not the best of races for Canada, but still not absolutely terrible by any stretch. Leaning more towards the second half of the event now. It's definitely looking more like we're possibly going to be seeing that GCN Mario Circuit vote coming back on the board.
Yeah. That Mario Circuit, the other Mario Circuit, the other circuit.
Bring them all out, dude. We got 3 Mario Circuits in Shy Guy Beach still for play. Like,
I smell some all run coming up. Canada right here. Don't know about you guys.
No, I could see it definitely. I think it depends, right, on course selection what they get, but I think Canada down by just under 80 points at around 76, so it's like definitely not the worst we've seen in the World Cup, but obviously at this point, like, who are we kidding? And looking at a 76-point comeback like that, you definitely need to start seeing the all run for the best potential here, and with that, probably shorter tracks, like again circuits. So we'll see what the strategy is here going on the course selection, but it will matter if Canada has a sliver of a chance here.
I think what's really setting the pace here is that like the US are pulling the right items at the right times, and they're just holding them. They're taking smart lines, like Edison there with triple shrooms manages to avoid the bomb, avoid the blue, and that was it essentially. He just got granted TT immunity power at that point onwards. So it's just it's small things like that that really make the difference.
Holding one quick update here. We did get 2 Venmo updates here from Brawly. Pipe and Pipe
yeah?
Part 2. So we get
I
$10.
forgot it was 10.
Yes,
Forgot it was
$10. So just in case you guys needed to know, we did indeed get $10 in the Venmo account, and now we just need it from Aiden, who's been avoiding that for the last 2 hours. But Maple Treeway going to be the first pick here. That's going to be a USA pick. Maybe
Aiden knows
not.
me 5, man. Still has not
Wait,
made
did we
me.
not? Am I getting things mixed up? We didn't go Maple Treeway before?
We haven't. Oh, not in this one. No, you're thinking of the previous one that you
Okay,
joined. To.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Not sure what the play is on this one. Definitely works for an all-running kind of tactic, but again, cannon track. If US pull the shot, which they've been doing very, very well, they're excellent shocks from Mac. They're managing to either hold them so that the Canadian team can't use them, or just to be able to negate damage at the end of these tracks, whereas the US players just managed to run it all.
Yeah, and kind of seeing like what I was talking about during our preview, Sword, when going back to the question you asked me, will the bagger make a difference?
Sorry. I just also got the note from Aiden, so I guess he's listening. Shout outs to you.
He's
Anyway.
gotta pay me too. He owes me $5. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, thanks for interrupting me, Irish. God, so unprofessional. But sorry, Sword. What I was going back to your question of who will make the difference here, and like I said before, I think Mac is definitely going to be the difference maker, and so far he's shown it, just either holding the shocks or using them in very good spots. And Canada shocks haven't been super impactful in the races that we've seen, so definitely a lack of using their resources to their advantage when they do get it. But unfortunately for them, Mac has just been kind of getting everything and killing it for his team.
Yeah, I don't really know exactly what Canada's aim is to do here. Maple Treeway being, again, another track I think is incredibly run-heavy, and it goes under the radar as to how run-heavy this one is. I think we'll look at the cannon and go, oh no! But like DK Mountain, Maple Treeway, DK Jungle Parkway, all very, very run-heavy tracks.
Yeah.
With Shell coming out, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference, as US already have the remaining positions up
And
there.
a mega, like right
Pulls
there.
a mega
Yeah,
off
why
again,
not?
Man, dude, whatever Edison's contract is with this game, sign me up on that. I'd be setting some pretty dope world records. Not gonna lie.
Okay,
Potentially Canada trying to benefit from the home advantage here in Maple Treeway with the landscape of
Never mind, scrap that.
perfect!
Oh!
Edison, you've got to be kidding me.
Okay, alright. I was gonna take it back and be like, never mind, sponsorship cancelled, but all of a sudden, it's double sponsorship, bro. Like, man.
Are you
this is
kidding?
unbelievable.
This man's luck is
Okay, yeah, please put that
Calm
person to
down.
rest. Wait, the blue shell comes in too.
Golden in
Calm
fifth, golden
down,
in
Edison.
fifth.
That first place is so gone though.
Trip,
Wait, he gets hit by the line? Red
No,
shells?
it's not gonna do anything.
Red
I
shells?
don't
Red
think
shells?
it's gonna
No.
Edison needs to calm down, and that's what Zesti said. He said, "Please just relax for me 1 second."
I don't know who passed Edison at the line there, but maybe a Canada member. That's probably wishful thinking, I will admit, but we'll see what it is when the results come up. 4
I
races
wonder
left,
if-
of course, not too much going for Canada.
I wonder. I just can't help but feel like the game's trying to prove you what you said wrong earlier, where you said like, "Oh, Edison's absolutely going to take the role of shagging," and the game's just like, "No, it's not that, man. Just give the man single shooting
Fucking
first."
dense? Yeah, what?
Good race from Canada. Good.
A win by 1, somehow.
Yeah.
Oh,
We take it. We take those.
I've found during this whole World Cup that my words are just being thrown right back at me. In pretty much every aspect, I've been saying lap 2 shocks are dumb, and a lot of teams have been doing them, and it's been winning them a lot of the races. So, been eating my words there, eating my words with my man Edison, taking the slagging role. He's actually just been in the front the whole time. So, a lot. I've just been getting destroyed in every aspect of my life today. I've just been, utterly fucked. Gonna say it.
Yep, that's fair. Yeah, and I think maybe we'll see less of that going in the last 3 races. We do see the honest picks
Mario
coming
Circuit
out.
3. Yeah, absolutely. I'd go with Mario Circuit Wii personally, just because less shortcut potential, less devastating shock possibly. But I suppose they don't want to risk with any chance of them being able to run it. We're going to USA's pick regardless. I guess no dice on Canada's behalf.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky for them, sure.
What is the point deficit with 3 races left? Is it doable? Is it attainable?
It is technically, mathematically, numerically doable. Yes, 3 races left. I think that's a deficit by 75. I think it is. Of course,
So
the top.
Hey, it's not triple digits.
Top 5 is plus 41, so they with 3 races left, technically they can come back by 123. Yes.
What is a top 4-9? That's what I need to know.
Top 4-9 is plus 31.
Okay, so 2 of those to put them back in it, and then there you go. So they don't even need. They can still do this bagging strategy that they've got, but unfortunately, this is just not looking good. You've got US with top 2 break, and a lot of US occupying the high mid spots on a track like TF as well.
Yeah, definitely not looking bright for them right now. I've kind of talked to Aiden about this multiple times. That kind of the beginning of the race determines how it's going to end. And we see kind of just that with USA breaking away right at the start and don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. So hopefully a sitting track will help Team Canada get the shock since Max seems to be doing a lot of the outbagging on Spart. But so far, Jas with the build in 6th. Very good information for Spart to know to just spam these boxes and try to get shocked, as they really need it now with this USA top 2 break.
Bill and Sif is very, very pretty sitting on this track because it would absolutely take him to the front, but they need more Canada representation up top. They can't just have Jas dodging in the Bill. So I'm hoping that the rest of Canada have something to make up for that too. We see a star from Trix.
So that signals no one has shock or USA has shock. They're
just going to cycle through their dodges. I'm hoping that US use it. Yeah, it's not going to be enough, unfortunately. Decent Bill usage.
But
Probably
how
drop him at the
potentially
ramp.
bring Jas up?
Yeah, drop him at the ramp. Ooh,
Doesn't quite
not
beat him.
quite. No,
Seems like
really.
neither of the baggers had shock.
Yeah.
Very intriguing, as I'm not sure if they weren't, maybe they just weren't touching boxes.
He was holding that Bill for longer than I've been alive, man. So I don't know.
No, they were definitely hitting boxes. I saw like in the mini map, like Funky spinning out and hitting each other and whatnot. But yeah, nothing. It was just absolutely nothing. Okay, the shot comes out there, sure, but
There it is at
Very-
2 minutes 35. Good stuff.
hats off to US being able to hold those top spots for the most part. Top 2, 4, 6 is going to be their play there. And I think that's really that wraps it up for Canada. No
Canada needs some
mathematical
kind of
possibility.
miracle. Yeah. Oh, not even with 2 top 5s.
I don't think so. No, not after that.
Yeah, I feel like maybe now it's just a case of maybe trying to practice a little bit more and send the guy back. That's kind of what we did in LTA. We knew we were down like 2 top 5s or whatever, but we just said, you know, might as well practice against a top level team going on like really top level tracks. So maybe Canada will opt to do the same, kind of take it as practice and training, or maybe they will go for the 5 run. Or didn't you say it was mathematically impossible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They've got a lead of more than 82, and there's 2
Yeah.
races now. Yeah.
yeah, so interesting to see what they do here. If they do 5 run just for the kicks of it, or if they're just going to keep on bag.
I think, I mean, one thing to note from this is that, of course, we don't have the best lineup in again for Canada. Missing Mikey as well. Like, I think if you're Canada, there's really not much at all. Like, this is very low stakes for them in terms of, like, you know, setting the, like, going into this match with any pressure. It's, in my opinion, yeah, very low stakes. You have 2 players not being with the main lineup, and I think Jas maybe in the middle of this match kind of recognizing maybe my part isn't, like, at least in this particular lineup, can't be the team player. Like, with the lineup of, like, Trix, Mikey, Kyle, or Neuro, like, yeah, I think it's a lot more reasonable for Jas to look at that lineup and be like, okay, I can play that role as a mid-pack player, or as someone that's much more enabled to be able to shot call. But here, definitely not being the case. I think over the time, we've definitely seen him up there a lot more, but maybe a little bit too late.
Yeah, definitely a little bit too late now, as down by a lot. But are we seeing a 5 run from Team Canada? No, so we do see the bagger going back. Oh, Edison trying to cause mayhem right here towards the finale. We're about to hit the bomb car and uses his star abruptly. So we see Canada in 2-3 here, trying to make a play on Shawn. But yeah, a lot of intensity going on here with our man Edison. So that Jazz hitting the car and Shawn as well.
Unfortunate. You can tell he was really relying on that boost pad to speed past the car there.
Yeah. Boost panel, I think, not hitting the boost panel, just threw him off. We're going to see 1-3 here for USA. Trix is holding his own up here, trying to see the shock situation, but really, if there's no shock at the second set, it's not going to really matter much for any team that ends up using it. Red's out from Canada on Edison, it looks like. Probably going to be able to just dodge anything with the cars, and if we're going to see a shock that's going to matter, it'll probably be in the next few seconds, but don't think there's anything right here. Blue coming out from Canada on the USA. Pack very split back there in the 7-8. Edison going to end up getting redded. That's going to set him back a little bit. Trying to see the spots up there. I think Trix might be into first. A little bit of a target power out in Edison. Shock comes. I think just for that shock red. Nobody really dodging in the back. And
wait.
Oh, all right.
Not the best time to switch to would have. Unfortunate. Could have had that all on replay, but I think it's probably for the greater good that we didn't get to see that unfold in first view. Really unfortunate. Hearts being broken right in front of the finish line, getting completely decimated.
I think Jazz finished. I think Jazz actually finished.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Did he? Okay, all right. That lessens it a little bit. Okay, I thought I was about to watch like some compilation from 2010 YouTube right there, like Mario Kart Wii's Insane Part 6. Like,
shout out to Twillers.
Shout out to Twitter, dude.
That's what I got for your reference at least. But yeah,
free promo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was a bit of lag there at the end that confused, but one more race it seems. I'm gonna see if we're getting any. I think a lot of the blowouts we've seen both of Italy and some other team go raceway last racing over the tourist side. See if we're gonna see anything a bit clowny.
I want to try like beach, man. I want to go swimming. I've got my armbands, I've got my trunk, I've got my snorkel. Like, I'm ready to go, but they just think it's time to shop. I respect it. I completely understand.
I don't think we're getting
Take
that.
it a little bit seriously.
I think you might need to get out your mask. You might be going to a mall, or might be going to a castle.
I mean, are they going to kick me out the mall if I'm there in my flippers and my rubber dinghy? Is that the question?
Well, we're not going to the clown course that I described earlier. However, this could also classify as a clown course, just because of how chaotic the map can get and people taking cut. Might see some people tilting, trying to make the ultra over and over again and being lapped. Never know what can happen here. It's definitely a course for some funny things.
Looks like you can still go swimming in that nice hot lava.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's nice and relaxing. Warms your skin up a little bit.
Let's see a last race from Canada, a last hurrah. Hats off to them. We'll see if they can get anything going here. But Edison with the reds and then triple shrooms.
My man got the PP item. I'm down. He's about to no short.
Unfortunately, yeah, his teammate unblocked it, but he just went around it. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there, or something like that. But either way, it doesn't really lose too much in spots. A lot of people not going for it still. So Canada top 2 to start this one off. Of course, PC3. What in the world?
Well, I mean, I thought I was the one going for a swim in the lava lake, man, but it seems like Neuro already beat me to the punch.
Yeah. This even other than the cut, really, just with all the tight corners and that infamous last straight, it's why BC3 creates such exciting races. And there's a blue out onto Canada right now. Don't know if it's going to get him over the gaps. Looks like he ended up surviving, though.
Okay.
Edison going for Ultra here in second. Will he make it?
Gamer?
So
Kasper playing a little greedy there. A little greedy. Like, hey, bud, you done yet? Are you gonna finish? What's up? Are you there yet? Hello? Yeah.
Oh,
here we go.
Our streamer's having a battle.
Oh my god.
Here we go. It's time, dude.
Here we go, exactly. Just as I said last one. We're not gonna
change it back. What are you doing?
There we go. Third time's the charm.
There we go.
Changed it the one time you made it.
Just as I said on lap 1, we might get that person in 8th place trying to make the ultra over and over again to prove their Mario Kart worth, and we did.
Oh, he's through it. Oh, yeah, this is hype. Oh, he's about to make it. Oh, this is lame. Let's look at this other guy. Like, oh, come on.
Jazz holding POW here seems to signify that Canada does have shrooms. They cut, something like that, so we'll have to wait to see what the result of it. Now, yeah, Zesti was able to go ahead and make it. Let's see if Jazz is able to do it as well.
Oh, what a beast!
Yeah, clean. There we go.
What a beast!
It's Canada in 4-5 now. And from just the game audio alone, I think I know what Funky Kong is back there. Shocked the Reds are going to come out for... Oh, my God. The God Pull.
Oh, let's go.
Goodbye to Kasper. Maybe goodbye to
Get in the line, maybe for a top 3. Get in the line right here.
Coming out!
Oh,
Yes, get in the line! Time to get out!
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh,
Congratulations to Canada to end it out like that. The right way. That's how it should be done.
Wow. Crazy. I hope Ken didn't cross the line. Gonna be a little biased towards Canada here. I hope he didn't cross the line. I hope
really
Canada
hope he
got
didn't. I hope he did not. Actively hoping that person got as the worst spot possible, and I don't know the person.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
There it is.
There we go,
Top
Canada.
3-6. Dude, finishing out was strong. It's good.
They needed that. They really
They
needed
needed a
that.
morale boost because I think they felt like they were getting kicked to the ground throughout most of that. Like all of their track picks worked against them. US just got most of the shocks. They just needed that moment there where, you know, Kasper's like, you know, man, I'm going for this ultra. You're not making it. You're taking too long. And then that's it. Managed to make the play at the very end there.
I don't have the complete score yet, unfortunately. I missed a race, but hats off to them. That race win was a win by, I believe, 21 points. So that, I think,
Fantastic.
was their best race on the match so far, or entirely. Yeah.
I
Well,
want to say that starting off with GB, with them just getting top 4, just set a really unfortunate tone. That's just the worst, man. Like you start out, you're in it, you're motivated, you're like, let's go get them, boys, and then the other team just get the top 4-9 on the first race.
Yeah,
One thing,
100%.
like,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Like, definitely the tone was set. Question for you guys. Did you think this would be the result? Were you expecting such a blowout? Were you expecting it to be closer?
lineup dependent, I think. Like, if you gave me the best lineup for Canada, I actually think it would have been a nail biter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just it.
It's like I said, I think it just might have been in a situation where they're just like where if they're fighting, they're not fighting for elimination anymore. They're fighting for just a top seed, and they might just want to experiment lineups and just try to fit everybody in, because that just is an aspect. I don't know if you had it on LTA probably, but like obviously like some players are just going to want to play, and you're going to want to try to fit all of them in different lineups or just experiment while you know that you're out of elimination. Could have just been the case, but Zesti proving himself at least in GP3. Didn't see like any Mikey or Kyle. Kyle just wanting to, as Tom said, finish off on that 60 for the group stage. But
he's on his hill, dude. He's just watching down. He's like, he's having a good time. I don't blame him.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, apart from that, like, Canada, like, yeah, they could have done something here, I think, but it wasn't something that I was necessarily expecting, just given, yeah, the lineup disparity. I mean, notable, like, Zesti, they did their best. Bless them. They showed up when their team needed them, but didn't put up the greatest performance, unfortunately, you know? So I think that's, at least if nothing else, if we're not even talking about switching the two right people under there, you can start there and you'd probably be fine. I think Canada's fourth is something that you could flex between Neuro and Kyle, and can potentially have some similar results. So, like, even if they just had like one of those instead of like two of those in being different from their main blue, then it could have been really interesting tonight, but wasn't the case.
US just taking the lead though, man. Like I said, with that first race going strong, Matt getting the shot and just them being able to run it, it just kind of set like a tone, and they were kind of fighting an uphill battle throughout all of that, and they did remarkably well considering. Like, hats off to them all. Like, they played really, really well. They made the best of what they had. There were some really good situations where it could have been really good. Like, they had the good positions on Raceway, for example, was the comeback, but unfortunately the US were just that one step ahead to have the foresight to know, like, be patient, use the shock at the end. So every opportunity that Canada had, US were kind of just spinning it in their favor. I think there was about 2 situations or so on 2 tracks where Canada managed to make it work for them, but they weren't big point difference races. Like, they were like +3s and +5s, whereas every time US made a break, They were getting plus 15s, plus 20. It's just those points that stack up.
Yeah, definitely 100% agree. Psych, any closing remarks on this match?
Really, it's just that GP1, starting off with the top 4 in Grumble, and then at the same time, I always talked about, I love the fact that they picked that raceway and that they're opting for these extremely controversial courses, but then after losing on that, and then losing on the running, I'd really, if I was on Canada, I would be pretty flustered as well, because you tried 2 different strats, you don't really know what to go for. So just USC's showing their prowess, really. Both US teams definitely showing why they're so revered, to at least get into the finals and maybe win the whole thing in this group stage.
Yeah, definitely. I think really well played by both teams. USA East just kind of having the upper hand, and showing that they are the 1 seed, really kind of killing everybody's doubts that Canada should have been the 1 seed, as a lot of people said it, myself included. I honestly thought Canada should have been the 1 seed with their running power, but yeah, USA East proving me wrong. And I think that just about wraps it up. So, guys, thank you for watching so much this whole day.
Wait, lads! it is time to cover a little something at the end of the day. So we do have our entire group stage wrapped up now, but that means we do have a final bracket locked into place, as well as a lower bracket event that we can give you a few details about as well. So we'll just start off with the big news right now. We'll just start with the main show that'll be starting next weekend and concluding the weekend of August 1st and 2nd. So we'll be having the quarterfinals matches, the 4 first-round matches of the top 8 bracket happening next weekend. And those matches are Japan versus Latin America, United Kingdom versus Canada, USA West versus Netherlands, and USA East versus Norway. And just to give you an idea of what that's looking like, the winner of the Japan-Latin America match will play the winner of United Kingdom-Canada, and the winner of USA West-Netherlands will play the winner of USA East-Norway. So a lot of really high-stakes matches with 8 phenomenal teams. I'm really excited to see how this shapes out next weekend. Just offhand, can we get a quick rundown from everybody in the call? Who do you think makes finals? Who are the 2 teams that make finals?
Okay, well, I have the bracket up on stream now. I think it's tough. I honestly think let's take it. Can we take it maybe match by match for a second? I think
that's a good idea. I think we got time.
I think let's look at Japan, Latin America. I feel like Latin America has so much upset potential there. Just talking about how well we've seen them perform. Of course, they didn't perform the best against US West, but we saw some of Japan's faltering against even just Netherlands and France even. I feel like Latin America just from that alone have it in them, because they've shown themselves to be able to perform with teams like Netherlands and definitely France. So yeah, I honestly, gun to my head, I will give Latin America the win over Japan. And probably if you take it between UK and Canada, I feel like UK comes out on the either way. Against Canada, between Canada, they come out on top, and then whoever wins the first top there, the UK is the one that make it in the finals in the first half. Curious what you guys think.
Absolutely agree with that one. They've proved their worth today tenfold, being able to keep composure. Obviously, I just sound biased as all hell right now, so I probably shouldn't even be speaking right now. But yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that they've got it. I agree with you, though, with Latin America. They definitely have the chance for an upset, but it's going to be such an uphill battle, I think, because the UK team is being comprised of such strong runners, and they're capable of creating an upset if need be.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you that I think LTA definitely has upset potential against Japan. Chemistry-wise is there for both teams, but I feel like Japan, like you said earlier, has kind of been giving up big races to teams maybe you wouldn't think that they would be giving up big races to. So definitely some upset potential there. I agree with you, Eirik, 100%. As for the second match, I think UK has the edge after just watching USA East versus Canada and watching UK versus Norway today. I think UK definitely has the upper hand if they're able to bring that same lineup every single time. Canada needs Mikey, but I heard that he just kind of went MIA and they're not able to find him. Maybe he's like Patrick under a rock right now, Mr. Patrick Star. But yeah, if Mikey comes back, I think they'll have a much better chance against UK. But for now, I think UK has the advantage.
Wait, seriously? He's just dipped? Dang.
Yep. That's
Fair.
what I'm hearing.
Okay. Dang.
Really, not to sound like a broken record, because most of what I believe has been covered. I also think Latin America has a chance to upset Japan. I would definitely edge Japan over, but I believe Latin America can upset. They've honestly impressed me a lot in this group stage. United Kingdom, I would also put over Canada, especially if Mikey continues hiding under a rock. Even still,
But do we think with Mikey in the lineup still UK over them?
I would still put UK over them just because I was so impressed by their performance versus Norway, because I kind of just had Norway so high in my head, sort of like an underdog country, even though they had Fox and Barney. I just think England's core, especially of Shawn, Tanny, and Xander, like those two players in a lineup is just insane, and they've been able to prove they can even take down Norway, who also has a strong duo core of Fox and Barney, I would say. So yeah, I would put Japan and UK both. However, I would not. I would love to see Latin America upset. I'm always for the underdogs. But those are my two picks. I think it'll be close.
Well, I think either way, I think this will shape up in a really exciting way. And one last thing before we head off the cast, because I do not want to leave them hanging, our lower bracket. Every team that did not advance to the final bracket in each group also gets another opportunity to compete in a bracket of their own. Those matches are going to be Germany versus Finland, Asia versus Ireland, France versus Italy, and Denmark versus Mexico. So looking forward to seeing who of those teams, given how close a lot of their matches were across playing stage and group stage, who is actually going to be able to come out on top of that. I think like Italy, France, and Germany all come to mind in particular of who's going to be able to take that event. And that'll be playing out across the next 2 weeks as well. So with that in mind, one more thing to note about the final bracket as well. From here on out, matches are going to be best of three. So we'll have 4 best of threes next weekend, and then a best of threes for the semifinals and finals, I believe, as well. So a lot of opportunities for teams to come back in an environment where they couldn't in the group stage. Like say you just don't have it together during the first war, maybe luck favoring your opponent a little. You have every opportunity to come back and still win. So there's going to be plenty of more matches to go, plenty more to watch. If you're not in the Discord and keeping up with updates there, keep that in mind. And we will be back next weekend. So I hope you guys enjoyed our broadcast today. Special shout outs to Eirik, who controls and runs the whole production independently on his own. He's handling all this work by himself. Big props. And thanks for casting, guys.
Y'all have been great, honestly.
Thank you. It's been so much fun. I've had a blast casting with you guys over the past couple of days in this group stage. Just a lot of fun overall. Sometimes we're super serious, but at the same time we can have a little fun in that 6-person drunk stream as well. So hats off to you guys. You've been awesome too. Shout out Eirik as well for putting all this together and just overall killing it. So yeah.